Yeah. Hello and welcome to this Warno 3v3 game. Today we're on Valley and we've got Jimmy, Jeff and Jonty Ben. I don't know if they're all together. And they're going up against Magnus Axe, Colonel Copenseed and Javier Torres 16. So we'll get to the deck reviews and then we'll cover the deployment. Okay, so these are the deck reviews. First we'll go through NATO, then we'll go through PACT. I'm not sure if these were three friends playing together, but the fact that all of their names begin with J makes me think that they are. I've often been told that I see patterns where there aren't any. But let's start with this one. So this is 5 easy. And yeah, first things first. So I basically I made this fire support guide where I talked about how 50 cals are better than MMGs, and then they increase the MMG HP by 1 to match the 50 cal HP, and you get 12 of them at no vet, and at 1 vet you still get 8. Right, you get 6 at 2 vet. So now this is no longer worth bringing. In the fire support guide, I talk about how the 50 cal is the best one, and then they went and changed it. And to be honest, I need to just remove that video because I'm going around spreading misinfo now. But I need the views, so I guess I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna keep being wrong. No, I need to do something about that. Anyway, long story short, don't bring this. Bring this instead. And you know, if you only want 5, then there you go. You can get 6 now, or you can have 8. Either way, you've got a CV in here. That's fair enough, really. Sometimes having an infantry CV is good. So 35 points for 4 men with smoke, or you can pay 35 points for 5 men with smoke. Now you might say, well, this has a DMR, and DMRs are useful, even if your weird skeletal hands clip through the stock there. I'm sure nobody will notice, but you don't want this unit in combat literally ever, and if it is in combat, it should be running away. So you can't use this while you're moving. So I would recommend not bringing this one. I'd recommend bringing the one with more HP, even if, yes, the guns are worse, and even if they hold the FAMAS kind of weird as well. I mean, that's a French gun. I'm surprised they haven't put more effort into that, but yeah, I think they've only got like one animation for even if it's a bullpup, and so you get things like this. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Anyway, I'd say that this is better than this. And then we've got this one down here, which is 8 men, but no smoke. But 8 men is going to live longer. You got to pay 20 points more, like, but 8 men is going to live longer than 5 men. But smoke is really useful if you use it. So it's a choice between this one and this one. Basically, just don't bring the one you're using. Any other option will work. Grenadier Voltigeurs Appalache. So, yeah, you save points by bringing them in the truck, but I really do recommend the VAB, because not only is it faster on-road, so they'll get there faster, and way faster off-road, but it's got a 50 cal, and it's sort of a poor man's SPW-70. 50 cal isn't as good as KPVT, right? It's only got 1 armor. It's not got smoke like a BTR-80, for example, but I like the VAB, so I'd be bringing it in a VAB, and I'd be tempted to upvet this by 1, bring it at 5 availability. I can understand that because there's a CV here. There's not actually that many imp slots. So you got 2 there. I suppose I started in the middle. So this can work. It's got smoke, which is useful. It can defend itself from a helicopter reasonably well. This you get 3 availability, which can be very useful. And then this is fast, so all 3 of these are good options. I do not like the Helo CV at all. I mean, I've seen people bring it, so that the best player I've seen use Helo CVs is Fortitude Fence, and he uses them well, but I still feel like it's just asking to die, because I mean, you see the enemy will probably see it land, and then here come the artillery shells, and you know, you can't move it around the zone. If it takes off again, then the zone neutralizes. It's just not. I don't like it, but yeah, this one is really not so bad. I mean, it's cheaper than both of these as well. So yeah, 2, 4, and then 6. Okay, that's fair enough. But yeah, I'd be tempted to upvet these by 1. Same with these guys. So the chasseurs are really good for 50 points because they've got the DMR and 8 strength and a max range rocket launcher, although the pen isn't great. I like them. And yeah, the AMX 10P. I mean, it depends. If you find yourself running out of infantry, then don't upvet them. But I don't know. I'd be tempted to upvet these by 1. Bringing infantry at no vet is just asking for it. And if you want infantry at no vet, you have brought the reservists LRAC, which is a very good card. I don't. If I was to nerf 5e, if I was in charge of nerfing 5e, and I do think they need a nerf, I would just remove this card because it didn't actually used to be here, or it used to not have the rocket launcher, and because they've already got Escorte PC, which is also a decent squad. I mean, it's not got the rocket launcher, but it's also not reservist, and it's got security. So when it stood still, it's got good optics. But yeah, like these are both good, but I can understand that you can't really fit them both in. Group anti-char's a really interesting unit. It can work. Vab Milan, yeah, fair enough. I mean, it is 15 points more, but a Milan and a 50 cal is really not bad. The bad stealth means that it's kind of hard to use it properly, but if you could just keep it with your blob, it can do a lot of work. So I understand bringing it in that. Milan 2s, so this thing, because it's only got 2 HP, it's either gonna be dead or it's gonna be fine. Do you know what I mean? Like, if somebody's shooting at it, you generally want to wait for your missile to hit, or if the fire's even too strong, you just immediately run away. So you don't actually need the suppression resistance because you don't have enough HP to take enough hits for it to matter. So I downvet that. And then sappers, you basically got the opposite problem here. So this thing's really interesting. I mean, for 35 points for an auto cannon is and 3 armor. I mean, it's not got smoke, but yes, it's not so bad. But I mean, this is just better because it's 35 points for an auto cannon and smoke, and the smoke is very useful. It's the same auto cannon. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it can be useful, but yeah, I'd be tempted to vet these guys as well because they're supposed to run close enough to use a satchel on somebody, and so I'd be tempted to vet them. But if you find yourself running out of infantry, then you can start downvetting stuff. But generally, you're padding it out with the reservists LRAC anyway. This is also a card I see a lot, so I mean, it's weird though because you don't get the AMX 10P. So like you basically be swapping this one out for this, which is 2 more men for 10 points, and you don't get the IFV. So you probably don't need it, to be honest. I don't know. I don't play enough of this division. Yeah, you get 1 less as well. Yeah, never mind. Chasseur's probably better. You still get the DMR. 2 more men, and yeah, it's probably not worth it. Sapper's Flam are like bad now. They used to be incredible, but something happened to the flamethrowers like quite a while ago that now they fire like the accuracy is really low. The range used to be 500 meters. The rate of fire is like really low. So yeah, these sappers are definitely better than the sappers Flam now. It's a shame. It's just something to do with the way this was nerfed quite some time ago. Commandos in the Super Puma aren't in the deck. So basically, if you find some way to get rid of this, like perhaps another 2 tank CVs, then you would then you'd be able to put command like this is it can be very useful to have these in the deck. I've seen people run it without them. I was playing a 2v2 with a wooden box and he was 5e and he didn't bring these and he did very well, so maybe you don't need them. But it's just you can do some wacky 1v1 openers with these guys in a plane, get them into positions that people wouldn't expect. But yeah, it's not a big deal if you're not bringing them because there's a lot of good stuff to bring in this division. Artillery, so yeah, the Alf 1, really good. Got buffed this patch because of splash changes and so on. So yeah, you need that. And mortars for smoke, yes, the self-propelled ones, much easier to use than the towed ones. Bit of a weird setup there, but sure. But yeah, that's all very sensible. Tank tab, so yeah. Um, so yeah. So are you bringing 14 tanks? Right? I understand upvetting one of these because you're probably not gonna need all of these tanks, but like, is it possible to remove this and have another one of these in here? And then, I mean, it just depends how you play. You don't have to do this. And then you could remove this and get the commandos in there, in the Super Pumas. It's just a thought. I don't know. It's up to you. And then, okay, so VBL Rico. So this you put with your tanks, and then your tanks can see. Oh, you've already got Helo guys. Okay, so you've already got Helo guys because you're bringing the Eclairs in the Helo. So yeah, that's fair enough. Really, you probably don't need the commandos. Um, This thing, yeah, I mean, the Homelander rush, we've all seen it. He basically just buys both of these cards and then one of these, and he puts some Tarasques behind it, and then he just bombs them down one lane, and it's pretty effective. Dragon powers, so because this goes full, right, so special forces get better with veterancy more than non-special forces do. If this went 4-3, it would be a no-brainer to upvet it. But the thing is, you don't actually want these guys for fighting. You want them for the recon, the ground surveillance radar, and the exceptional optics, which the forward deployment, which really helps you at the start. So I'd only be bringing I'd be bringing 4 of these instead of 2, and I'd be bringing them in the truck. I know it makes it more expensive, but the point is that these are for your opener. I understand that it's a 3v3, not a 1v1, so it's less important, but you know, if you can get this out in the opener, like the VLRA 50 is very useful in the opener because it tends to be that there isn't that much heavy stuff on the field. You're fighting other forward deployed units. So yeah, I'd be tempted to run this like that instead. And then yeah, the Sublinde, that's fair enough. Um, I think instead of this, I've got 2 of these, and then I never buy them all. So yeah, it makes sense to, I don't know, whatever works for you. AA, so the DCA is terrible, really bad. It just doesn't work properly. Um, it's like the same price as a Gepard, and it's just really not as good. So if you want Spag, what you do is you bring your minstrels in the VAB T20, and then you've got Spag. Um, I think that's how Jumper runs it. It's been a while since I played him. Or you get rid of this. What can I do for 1 point? Bring morality. So, like, for example, then you could have 2 upvetted Alpha ones, or you could bring the Tarrasque, which is really good. It's for some reason it's really good. I don't know why it's so good for what it is. Or maybe it got nerfed. I don't know, but it used to be really good. So you can either, if you want the Spag, you can either bring this, right, and it's got smoke and everything, but it makes buying minstrels really expensive, or you buy this. But yeah, the DCA isn't good. And if you can, you know, if you go in this route, then you can bring Roland twos. You probably don't need that many, so you know you can upvet them. Two's a bit not great, but yeah, you could do something like that. 4-2, what? You could do something like that, or yeah, you could bring the Terrace, something like that. Helo tab, so Gazelle Hot and Gazelle Cannon. The difference between these two is the Hot 2 does more damage. So you see you've upvetted it, so you have the same number. Because yeah, otherwise you'd get more of these. But you see that even when this is upvetted, it's actually still lower accuracy. This is 65%. So the advantage of this card is you get more of them, but if you're going to trade away that advantage, you might as well just pay 10 points more for something that does have more accuracy and is actually going to hurt somebody a lot more if they hit them. I can't remember what the difference is between 22 pen and 24 pen, but I know that I prefer 24 pen because there's a number go up, right? Air tab, so the Mirage 3E is cheaper, right? It's good against helicopters, so you've upvetted it so you only have 2. The main advantage is, yeah, you could get 3. So it's got 10% less ECM, but if you up-vet it, you get plus 8% evasive maneuvers, which is better than regular ECM. So now it's got more ECM than the Mirage FIC, but the missiles are worse, and it's slower, and it's got 10% less. Sorry, it's got 2 less HP. It's only got 8 HP. So an IHOC can actually kill this in 1 hit. So even though it feels like this is good to bring, it's... I would try the Mirage FIC 200 and just see how you get on. Because, yeah, only having 3 missiles makes it... It's kind of weird how the range is actually less on the FIC 200, but it's faster, so it closes the distance faster. I don't know. There's not much in it, to be honest. I can understand going either way, because saving 50 points is saving 50 points. And then, yeah, so for 1v1, usually this tab would be full, or, you know, have more planes in it, but then you got to trade out quite a few of your tanks and maybe a last infantry slot to get 3 AP or something. I agree with 3 cards of supply, by the way. So yeah, for 3v3, I can understand just not bringing that many planes, because especially if you're NATO, the enemy cubs, they're going to have like 12 cubs on the field and you're just going to die. So yeah, I can understand not bringing that many planes. This, I think, is not as good as this, because it comes at 3 per card. It's cheaper, and it's got a mega missile, which can, you know, do quite a bit. I mean, you can't get 2 off in 1 pass, so like this is if you really need a tank to die, but usually it's a one-way trip, whereas this tends to survive. The other thing is that the Jaguar HE actually tends to one-shot a lot of tanks, so you know, you could just do this. But obviously the question is then, well, you know, this is cheaper. So it's not so bad. It's just, you know, this comes at 3 availability per card. The Jaguar Seed's pretty good because it comes at 3 as well. To be honest, I really don't understand why this comes at 3. But whatever. Whatever works for you. I like the Jaguar AT. I've seen people use this and it does work. I've also seen people use Jaguar HE against tanks, and it tends to kill them. It's not as reliable as this, actually, so at killing the tanks. So yeah, that's the 5e deck review. And then, so I don't know if these guys were like 3 guys together or not. I mean, they've all got names beginning with J, and it's sort of like there's this nice line here. So I don't know, but generally, you know, we can't go through all 6 decks. We'll be here all day, but you want to think about working together with your teammates. And so if I'm Jeff here, if these 2 guys are my friends, then I'm probably not bringing the Harrier GR3 AA because it doesn't really trade well. You got to rely on your teammates to bring ASFs, although they're not. I mean, this guy hasn't brought any, and this guy's brought not a good one. So, that's a bit of a lackluster. I don't know, I get the impression that they weren't together, or they were just playing whatever they wanted. And then, yeah, so he's like bringing the arty on Berlin Command, but if these 3 are friends, he should not be bringing this, because this isn't as... Well, to be honest, they're all right, but they're not as good as this heavy one, or this MLRS, or the Alf one. So if they're all friends, they should have brought 4 Alf ones on the French player, and more ASFs on the French player. And this guy should be packing at least 1 card of Phantoms. He's sort of overstacked his AA tab a bit here. Also, challengers at no vet. No, bring them at 1 vet. They just got buffed, actually, so now you get 3 at 1 vet, which is really good, actually. So you should be bringing them at 1 vet, or 2 vet, even, so you can get 2 like you did before. And then, yeah, Rapier FSA regular, probably not really required. And then, like, imagine if just get rid of this, and then you get a plane, and maybe live a bit longer. I don't know. This is pretty decent for 175. Like, it's not amazing, But for 175, it gets a lot of missiles, and basically the way you use it is you wait for the enemy plane to fly over your AA, and then you send this out. And then usually he's turning back around. Well, you want to sort of wait a bit for him to be turning back around, but if you wait too long, you won't be able to do anything, right? So, generally, yeah, this is like a revenge fighter as opposed to a go out and hit 'em fighter. Or you just have it flying around just to make them go away. Generally, I mean, you've got all the SAS, so what do you need? What do you need so much AA for? What do you need so much? You just get rid of this as well. Now you got 2 more points. You don't need the 105s. Just get rid of those. Get this. And then you've got 5 points left. And then, like, no Rover Milan. There you go. And now we're rolling. You've still got all your arty to use your FOB with, right? And you've got FOB, Helo, Wheeled, which makes sense because otherwise getting this to and from the FOB to resupply is total pain. You could swap this one out for this one, but it's not a big deal. Hello, what? Lynx rocket, very, very, very useful. Very useful. Bring that. Only 1 card of Warrior Milans. Right, okay, so 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now that we've done this, so you get rid of one of these. Which one's worse? This one. Because I prefer a wheeled one, but you can always bring the Helo one. And then you obviously want your second card of Warrior Milans, and then you upvet that. I know I said we wouldn't go through every one, but just watching a fellow Brit Bong suffering is not great. And then somehow we need to get some HSF in here. You can't be going without either HSF or Terriers. You need something to pad it out. I really like the HSF for it. So I think I'm sort of bugged here. I've got available units stuck on my screen. I don't know what says. I wanted to report this bug, and I did, but it's like, well, they asked me how is it reproduced, and I've got no idea. It just keeps happening. So I don't know what causes it. So they haven't, well, I can't speak for what they're doing on their end, but generally when you report a bug as a general comment, you're supposed to introduce how it's reproduced, right? That's just obvious. That's not me leaking anything. And so when I told them about this bug, I couldn't tell them how it was reproduced. And so I don't know if anybody can figure it out, the exact steps that is required to reproduce this bug 100% of the time, then they can fix it. So, yeah, I mean, where do we go now? Where do we go now? Okay, so you got air mobile scouts here. You got regular scouts here. Do you need the regular scouts? There you go, 3 points saved. Now you can get rid of this. And now you can put one in here. There you go. And now you can get the HSF in. Boom. Much better deck now, in my humble opinion. I can understand bringing, rapiers and stuff. Yeah, much better in my opinion now. And I'm right on the internet, so listen to me. That's how I do it. Anyway, so what was the next guy? Well, Jeff on Berlin Command. I wish I could give him more advice. Berlin Command, not fab at all. Just a very difficult deck to play. What I will say is that the highlight of this division is supposed to be the infantry. If you're in a 3v3, neither of these are going to do you any favors, because the Cubs, there's so many Cubs, they're already dead, right? You got to sort of rely on your team a bit for the ASFs. I mean, this is just, it's like, this is all I've got. Yeah, in 1v1 it can work, but in 3v3 this is just so hilariously outmatched by the enemy team and all the Cubs and everything that I'd just be getting rid of these, and then I'd be filling this up. And what you want to be doing is, like, so recoil, this is Berlin Command. This is Berlin Command. This and the Nighthawk, they are Berlin Command. And so you want the second card, right? Which is around here somewhere. Wait, do you want to get one card? I could have sworn you got 2. There it is. So you want the second card of that, right? And then you always want a supply behind them. I like the 3 cards of supply. You always want a supply behind them. So as soon as they're out, it's very difficult to play this division well. Swad Jealous Gunter's really good at playing it. So once you've run out of recoilless rifles, you just drop them back a building, fill it back up, come back forwards again. Sapper's Flam, we were just talking about this. They're bad now. I don't understand what's changed, but I think they're really just not very good. Maybe you'll have some success with them, or you can, swap them out for like a meat unit like RAF Berlin, which is actually pretty decent because it's got 12 strength. But yeah, you want something for town. You want something for like close range fighting. You could bring Terrier Pioneers. Engineers Flash I don't really like because they're only 5 men. They're kind of hard to use properly. But yeah, close range fighting. I don't know. If it's one vet, it can work. It's just as soon as they get surprised, they take like 8 seconds to do anything, and I don't know. I don't really like them. I'd be more tempted to bring some satchels, but your other options, like you can't vet these, so they have this sort of similar problem. So yeah, maybe you don't have a choice. Maybe you need to bring that. Anyway, 2, 4, 6. But yeah, we've still got a slot left, which is where we can put our RAF Berlin. I really do recommend them, just for padding out your other units. You basically want something in front of the light rifles law. And the light rifle's recoilless rifle. But yeah, I don't know, it can feel weird going into battle without an ASF at all. Although your second UK player didn't seem to have much of a qualm with that. There's a bit of overlap here, to be honest, this is your close range infantry, but you only get 4 of them, so I can understand keeping the Sapper's Flam around. This is a very good optics vehicle when it stood still, and this is a good optics vehicle. So this generally goes with your tanks. It's only very good. It's only very good in serve exceptional. Yeah. I mean, this can work. You put it with your tanks. Snipers are really powerful, so you might want to fix those in somewhere. I find it really weird that this says it's gendarme, but it's not actually military police. Isn't that what gendarme means? I'm making that up. Anyway, yeah, so we talked about the Tarask and the FS. Well, okay, so yeah, you basically need this because you don't have a better option. Hell arms, sure, yeah. Tanks, upvetted. Yeah, this thing, did it come down in price? Did it used to be 40? I can't remember. Either way, you don't really have a choice. You don't really have a choice. You kind of have to bring it if you want fire support for your units. It does have smoke. I do think it's a bit of a price for 35 points. Like, you compare that to the AMX-10P, which we saw on 5e. The gun's better, but the armor's way worse. I need to stop saying I've just noticed this is down vetted. It shouldn't be. It should be up vetted. I know you lose 2, but don't bring your tanks at 0 vet. Unless they're like cheapo tanks like this, to be honest, you might want to bring down vetted. I don't know. And so this is way cheaper than this. But do you find that you're moving this around after every salvo? Do you find that you're moving this around after every salvo? Be honest with yourself. I prefer this, because even though it's way more expensive for the same gun, it's even worse, right? It's got less range. This actually has more range. I actually prefer this simply because I can move it around and avoid counter battery a lot easier. And with this, I'd be bringing either this one or this one. I'd actually be bringing the wheeled one because not only is it cheap, like you only want it for smoke, and 81mm is fine for smoke. It's actually better because it aims faster and it fires faster. But yeah, I don't know. I've seen this work, and you save a lot of points. You save a lot of points. You save, 75 points. But if you're not moving it and it's getting counter batteried, bring this one. And I just prefer this one, even though this is... You save so many points. I just always lose them. And so I'm not actually saving anything. Anyway, PACT. PACT, I said I wouldn't spend too long on this, but... so, the PACT players were Magnus Axe, Cope and Seethe, and Javier Torres. Did I import them all? I see Cope and Seethe here. There's Javier. Sorry, Xavier. And I don't think I did the Magnus one. Let me just get this up. So I don't know if these three guys were friends either. What? I don't know if I'd be friends with somebody if they brought a deck like this to my team game. I can understand, like, you know, the ASFs, they're not good. For some reason, they've got less availability than the East German ones, despite being the same. I get that. But this is so... for starters, you've got one AP slot free. So why not... Why not get that? And... Like... You don't need all this, mate. Come on, be honest. How many OSAs are you really bringing? Let's go for 8 OSAs. Let's still give you plenty of AA. And then, you know, you need some infantry recon. This is a really good squad for the start because it comes in the Honker, which has 120 kilometers an hour speed because the Special Forces trait makes you faster. You don't need 14 BRDM ones. Perhaps you could bring, Oh, this is for availability. Wow, okay, yeah, get that in there. I mean, this is actually pretty good. This has really... Do not underestimate the killing power of 4 PKTs. Do not underestimate it. And then, yeah, 27 T-55s. I used to always max vet these, but then I went up against Belarus Border Service, and he kept them at no vet, and he beat me with Berlin Red. So, who knows? Either way, these ones should definitely be, to be honest, yeah, I mean, are you buying all this? If you are, keep them down vetted, but I just sort of highly doubt it. Or you could, you know, get rid of this, put BRDM2 Conkers in here, which, you know, speed is better now. I can understand leaving these at 0 vet because you actually want them for the coffin launchers. Artillery, 8 mortars. Why? You need some tube artillery, really, for dealing with ATGM positions. And this is your 152, this is your Acacia ripoff. And yeah, grads are only 1 per card now. This got an extra card, though. And then, like, the inf tab, like... So... Hilo CV I don't really like, but let's get you a 3rd card of supply. And so 3. Okay, so you got 6 CVs there. Okay. I mean, you could get rid of. Actually, I don't like him at all, but you know it's up to you. You don't have to listen to me. And then, like, this is supposed to be an inf div. Where's the inf? Are you really bringing all these? Do you really need this many coffin launchers? Like, you could get rid of another one of these. You could get rid of another one of these. How many T-55s do you need? There you go, you're saving 3 points now. And now you can... Oh, that's 5. These basically fulfill the same role. So why do you need both of them? They're doing the same thing. This has exceptional optics, so I'd be getting rid of this one. And now you can get some inf. So, Wusu aren't bad. High Chota aren't bad. But generally, you know, you want that second card of BWP ones, right? I like that it's at 1 vet. And then, like, you don't have any ATGMs. Like, I understand PKMs, but get one of these. Bring it in this so you get more ATGM for your ATGM. This is basically a better version of the VAB Milan for the same price. Continuity. Well, okay, the ATGM's worse. And then, you know, you could get some more inf, or you can get a plane, or you know, these basically are doing the same thing. So you could get rid of one of these and bring a man pad, and you could bring it in this for some fire support. Like, it's not bad. It's not going to shoot a plane. I know it says it will. It won't. Two Osas, two cards of Osa I can understand, given that you know you don't have your ASFs, and they're not that great anyway. Like the guns on them are, the missiles on them aren't good. But yeah, I'd be trying to get this last slot, so you could bring some Paichota SVD again, right? In the oh, I see. That's Paichota ZMech SVD. Okay. Or you could, you know, you could bring some Wusu. They're not bad. I do like these. These sappers are good. Oh yeah, yeah. These are the ones I like. These are really good because you can. They've got an AT which is currently bugged. It deals like more damage to 2 armored vehicles than it should, and everything else works just as fine. It's a bit of a weird bug, but yeah, there you go. And then you might say, well, now I've got no cope or whatever. I don't know. Obviously, there's one slot. There's one AP free here. Doesn't matter. Bit of a weird one. Next guy was Colonel Cope and Seethe. Yeah. I mean, I like this div. It's very strong. I think it's very strong. I like it a lot. So basically, if you're playing this in a team game, you want to be bringing the planes. What divs have you playing? 39Y. You want to be bringing the ASFs. I don't know if these guys were together. I don't know if they're all, you know, some sort of Spanish stack. I don't know. But basically, you can bring a lot of ASFs on this div. If this is bad, don't bring this. Unless they buff this range, just don't bring this. Just get that instead if you want to hurt helicopters, because, you know, helicopters, look at the 2,800 meters, right? 2,475. You trying to kill the helicopter, it just gets you. I hate it. So, yeah, you can get this. Helicopters, right? I mean, you like helicopters, I get it. Save yourself 3 points here. Get yourself, you know, like, this is very useful. This can kill helicopters quite well because of the gun and its seed, which will help your SU-25s. Or you could bring another card of fighters, right? These are so good for their price, both of them. This is better than a Tornado for the same price, and this is better than an F-16 for the same price. We can get into why, but, you know, bring whichever one you want. You know, you could get rid of this and bring that, something like that. I don't know. But yeah, you're going to struggle to use, particularly this one, you're really going to struggle to use, because you got to get right over the target. I'd be tempted to swap that out for this, which not only comes at extra availability, like this one for some reason. Wow. But yeah, the extra availability. I know this is like a unique unit for this division, and it's so cool because it's got even more rocket, but the fact that you get 3 of these just makes it better. There's no way around it. This needs to go to 3 availability if they want people to... I'll just write that down. I'll do it in my own time. No, I'll do it right now. Otherwise I'll forget. SU-25 rocket to 25Y. So yeah, then okay, this thing very good. CB tanks. I really like this. Hang on, I've lost 3 AP somewhere. Oh yeah, because I didn't put this in. Let's say you only want 2 fighters for some reason. Well, okay, never mind. Let's not say that. Yeah, you like helicopters. Okay, so this is really good to keep with your tanks so that they can actually see something. So I want to try and fit this in somewhere. Okay, are you buying all these? genuine question. Probably not, right? I mean, are you really? So you want to keep the ones with 16 armor and ERA because they can survive a hit from a 30 AP missile. Because a 30 AP missile will deal 10 HE. So this is actually way worse than this. Even though it's got the ATGM, it's way worse because one missile from that plane will kill this, but it won't kill this because it's even though it's got the same armor, it's got ERA, which gives you one more HP. Unless this is tandem. Is it tandem? No. Some of them are, I think. So yeah, I'd be getting rid of this. There you go. Now you got 3 slots, and now you can bring this. And you basically you buy this, hold Shift F, and you put it with your tanks, and your tanks can then see the enemy. I really like this for the opener, but you know it's up to you really. I mean, what's the point in this? This does the same thing, but it survives the hit from the. That's why it costs more. So, you know, you get this for the opener. You literally get 5 at 1 vet, or like 3 at 2 vet. And you just buy this at the start, and it's good at the start. It pads out your line. You know, you can even have 5 of them if you want to buy them late game and just keep them in your mega blob. Yeah, for misters. This is actually better, by the way. It's worth pointing out. Like, it loses armor, but you'll notice that it's got more range, which means that the shots have less dispersion, which means that they're better. So get that. I honestly just don't think this should be in this div. I think it because otherwise, like, there's no reason to bring. Well, I guess you only get 1 card. No mortars for smoke. You need it, man, because your tanks, you want to get your tanks into... I suppose they've all got max range guns, actually. I don't know, I like mortar for smoke a lot. And then, yeah, infantry tab, so, listen, you know, this is a wonderful device, but you don't have enough infantry to really be bringing this at all. So, I would be, perhaps thinking otherwise. Although I've noticed there's not actually any ATGM carriers in here, so maybe you need it. This thing, I mean, MTLB, really, it's up to you. And yeah, they're at no vet because you just don't get enough choice. I really like these guys. So, I'm pretty sure I don't bring this, so that I can bring these guys. But honestly, the fact that you've not got any ATGM carriers in here, apart from really expensive tanks, I can understand keeping these guys in. And yeah, you do need line infantry and quite a bit of it, so maybe you just can't fit this in here. And Logi tab, so FOB and then 2 cards of supply, yeah, but getting, as we spoke about earlier, getting from, because it's a big map, getting from your FOB to your front line is going to take you ages. So you use this supply healer to go to and from the FOB, and then closer to your guys, you use this one. So that's Cope and Seethe. And then last but not least, we've got Javier, playing 39Y. So I don't know if these guys were together or what. I know I already spoke about that. If they're not together, I mean, you really should have an ASF here. Dean. Just get the lay of the land. Yeah, so let's hit that arty tab first. Acacia good, Gvozdika not good. D20, what's the point? I mean, you've got the 2 Acacias. And then D30, you don't need that, right? So just, there you go. That's all you need. And, you know, if you... Okay, so you've only got 2 cards. Whoa! Don't upvet your supply. Don't upvet your supply. Just don't do that. Do not upvet your supply. And the CVs are upvetted as well. So this is a troll deck. He's probably just doesn't watch enough Hippie YouTube videos. Just keep all this down vetted. We won't get into why. Just believe me. No BMP2s? You don't need that many CVs. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, get rid of this napalm thing. It's not very good. There you go. You've got a fighter now. You can actually fight. This can work. I prefer double AA helo for the opener, but it's up to you. AA, you don't need 12 iglas, right? This can work. I prefer this one because it's got more range. The main problem you're going to have is that max range helos are going to kill you. So even though, yes, this is fast and that makes it useful, this has the range to hurt a max range helo ATGM before it hurts you. And, you know, you could downvet this and get rid of that. Great, now you've got 3 more points. For your opener, you want... I wouldn't upvet this. For your opener, you can get Razvedka Saperi and a BTR 60 PB. That can be useful. Tanks, like, where are your tanks? You don't need both of these. They do the same thing. The BRDM2 Conkers is fast and has good stealth. This has a way better missile and more range. So let's just hypothetically go that way. Don't bring your tanks at no vet. The difference between these, they've both got 17 armor, so they'll both survive a hit from a ATGM missile. The difference between these is that the T80B is better, right? Because, you can buy one a minute. You can't buy one a minute of this. So you want that. And then you run out, and so you could bring this. RT tab, yeah, it's fine. And we already sorted that. Inf tab, downvet this. You don't need this. Where are the BMP2s? You got too many CVs, right? So 2, 3, 4. For starters, just get rid of this one, replace it with this one because it's 3 availability. So now you've got 5 CVs, 6, 7, right? So I don't know which one you want to keep. Probably the wheeled one. 4 men. 4 men. But stronger. Okay, yeah, so get rid of this. Put this in the BTR 60, get rid of that. Commandatura, yeah, I like it because of the Commandatura vehicle. And now you can get some BMP2s, which is sort of the point of your division, right? And Motorstroke Metis, really good card. You want that? Get rid of one of these, like this Motorstroke BMP, just get rid of that. I mean, I like the grenade launcher, it can work, but you've already got Plumachiki doing the same thing. So you can get rid of one of these, whichever one you want. I know people like Plumachiki, so we'll get rid of that. And then you get this grenade launcher, which is really good. So there we go, we saved 39Y. That was a bit of a weird one. I assume he's not had many games. Now we can cast the game! Right, so let's talk about the matchup, let's talk about the map. I'm not sure if all of these guys are together or not, but generally, in terms of composition, you usually want like one airborne div, one late game div, and one mid game div. That can work quite well. You can try going double airborne, one late game, but that's a bit risky. There's no airborne here at all. Blue are the closest thing with the SAS in the opener, so that's going to give them a big advantage over the entire red lineup, because I don't think they have a single airborne forward deployed unit. What do I mean by that? Down here it says forward deploy. Oh, I'm in the way. Do you see it? 2-7-2-4-7-3, whereas the SAS is 3. Oh, no, I'm still in the way. You see that where it says 3-5-3-3-4? That means they get there faster, which is very, very useful. Very, very useful. So you gotta have some of that going on, and somewhere in your team. And so blue's got a big advantage here because they've got it, and red doesn't between them, which is really rare actually to have so many divisions without airborne forward deploy. As we know from the deck review, which we didn't skip, these guys have airborne forward deploy in the form of the Dragon Paras as well, although he's not gone for it, he's going for the chocolate eclairs instead. If you're gonna, yeah, so matchup. Basically, let's talk about the map and the matchup. The map, this is what matters. Getting into here is very difficult. Getting into here is very difficult. So generally, this is what matters. This is what matters. So, if you're on this flank, basically what you want to do is try and just kind of hold this and then go into hotel. And basically, if you're on the blue side, if you could take this, it's really going to help you in hotel. So the whole point is just trying to use your position to help out hotel. So that's the only reason to push up here, really. The chances of you getting into Delta are basically 0 against a against a good defender, and for the same for Cope and Seed here, the chances of him getting into Charlie. I've not seen this yet. I don't know what's going to happen, but generally, in my experience, getting into these zones is it just gets you, just wastes a lot of time for you. I've seen entire games thrown because guys really wanted this zone. It's on the channel actually, and they charged this zone, charged this zone, charged this zone, and then they lost mid, and then they lost the game. So generally, yeah, if you're on this side, what I like to do when I play this map is I ping this and I say I'm going here, and then I do what I just described. I just defend here and attack hotel, just to stop somebody else from spending all their resources, not accomplishing too much. So we've got the Eclairs coming in here. Yeah, trying to get one guy behind the enemy lines is a good idea because they're FOB. You want to find the PACT FOBs. As we know from the deck review, I'm pretty sure, didn't PACT have one FOB? I literally just did it. I can't remember. I know NATO had one on second UK, and he's not actually brought it. I could have sworn PACT had one. Like, they really should have one. There it is. And they should have, in the deck review, something I didn't mention is they could have brought more grads between them. But yeah, whatever. Obviously, they've been nerfed to one per card now, which I completely agree with. So, yeah, we've got the Eclairs and then the Sublindes. So he is sort of putting a lot of units over here. But I see it as a wasted effort. It's very difficult to push Delta. You want to go for Hotel Golf. And so, yeah, the Sublindes, the VBL Milan. Not seen any Dragon Paras. Like, that'd be really useful if you could get Dragon Paras to here at the start with ground surveillance radar and just turn off their weapons or put them on return fire. And you don't want it here because if there's somebody here, they'll see you. So you just put it like there, and then you just sit there, and you just get so much vision on this zone. You start seeing things back here and stuff like that. Another one here is sort of the obvious one as well. So hopefully we'll see that later on. So yeah, it looks like he is just sort of going for Delta, and his opponent is sort of doing. So he's taken some, he's taken the buildings, which is nice. Yeah, and then we've got Jimmy in the middle here. Didn't bring his FOB. I think it was him who had the FOB. I think he'll regret that in the late game, depending on how far we get. 2 recon helos, okay. And then, yeah, snipers and SAS. Oh, I didn't notice in the deck review, one of his SAS is in the Bedfords. Yeah, you want them both in the Saxons. They're just better. It's faster, which matters a lot when you're doing the airborne forward deployed strat. You want to be there as fast as possible. And it doesn't have smoke, which can save your life, and it doesn't have much armor. So they should all be in the Saxon, really, always. It's very, very useful to have that Saxon, because it's a max vet Saxon, which I know it doesn't have much ammo, which is a bit weird, actually. But it can provide good fire support as well, especially given that MMGs shoot 1,200 meters now, which they changed a couple patches ago. Anyway, SAS running down mid. He's sort of messed up a bit here, like this is coming down here. Whatever. It could be going down here or something. I don't know, I suppose that's his teammate zone. If you're the only one with the airborne forward deployment out of you and your teammate, I would just be passing him an SAS, really. But yeah, 6 SAS in mid is... It can work. It's just they might all just die, and then you have a 0 SAS. So I'd be putting 3 here and 3 here, because the 3 here, you're providing good AA for your teammate, and they can also move up here, and you don't really. Infantry has depreciating value here because the enemy should just have loads of IFVs just shooting it all. As we know from the deck review, that's not really going to be the case. But yeah, then we've got the ammo Pioneers coming in. Imagine if these had the Lynx rockets, they'd shoot the enemy forward deployment. Do you know what I mean? On the right here, we've got the PCB and the Sons of Sek from Warhammer 40k. And yeah, I like it. And then we've got some more over here. Yeah. So basically, yeah, just put a couple units here and just don't bother with it. Like it's sort of the same story as this side. Yeah, put a couple units there to make sure that nobody's sneaking through, and do try to do your own sneaking through because it's very, very useful. But generally, don't put all your units up here. I see people do that. I'm seeing it right now. This man is not helping his team. I haven't seen this game yet, but from these deployments, my money's on blue. And so, yeah, then he's got a bunch of infantry coming in here, and he should have a couple for this forest. Yes, he does. That's great to see. Great to see. Switching to their opponent's deployment. This upsets me greatly. This is where the zones are. You're not helping. You're not helping at all. Having had a teammate who did this, it does upset me. So then you've got Javier Torres, who doesn't have any BMP2s from the deck review, and he has to cover golf and hotel by himself. But then the player here is, I want Charlie, and so hotel's actually just empty. I'm coming over here. I don't want to be over there. Right, so they're off, and it's time to thank the generous channel joiners, generously joinerifying the channel. They get the names on the screen, they get the videos early, they get members exclusive videos. One join is worth like 3,000 views at the lowest level. At the max level, you get your games cast. I had to put the price up, so it is quite expensive now. But you know, if it's basically the closest thing to Warno coaching that you can get. To my knowledge, there might be somebody else who offers the service. But yeah, the max level channel membership, you get your games cast at a rate of 1 a month. Yeah, what can I say? I like making these videos. I was watching a YouTube video about somebody else, and he was talking about how like hard it is. Like, I don't like doing my full-time PhD. I find it quite difficult. But making the videos, I love doing it. I love watching the games. I love dabbing on the noobs when they do things. To be honest, this genuinely upsets me because I've been in this situation where somebody did that and it didn't go very well for us. Jeff's got the right idea here. You just put a couple units there, and if it turns out, oh, okay, he is doing something wacky, well, then you just put a couple more units there, right? You can defend for a very long time before they get to Echo. Yeah, Jeff, Jimmy, and John T. Ben seem to have a better idea here. So, like, John T. Ben, he's not going all the way for Delta. He's just holding the line. You know, he's got some units coming like this. You know, he's got some units coming around here to help his teammate. But yeah, this is the Harrier. So we spoke about how useless the Harrier was, but he actually got all like 3 Mi-8 rockets there. So, oh no, this guy shot 2 because they were on the ground. Yeah. So if you're gonna unload your you guys, you need to give them a shift Q order to take off again. Wow, this guy's got a lot of kills. Tyler doing well here, and Jimmy's got mid. Jimmy eat middle, right? That's a thing. Jimmy eat middle. Oh, Jimmy eat world, the middle. My bad. And then yeah, Jonty Ben sort of got the right idea here. He's just holding. Sorry, I dropped something. He's just holding the line, and that means that it's, you know, this is the important bit. Although to be honest, he's not really needed here. And so I like this a lot. You know, he's got the Milan 2s here to help his teammate, whereas Colonel Copenseed has just left his team to die, as has Magnusax. Do you see what I mean? I do find it a bit strange that, like, so Jimmy... which one's Jimmy? He's the set. Oh, okay, so this is the second UK player. So I was going to say, like, Jeff should have a CV here, really. And he should be getting some units up to defend this, on the roads particularly, and then you need, like, an infantry here. Basically, the problems come in like 5 minutes from now. They just come over. They start shooting all your stuff as it comes down this road. So you need a couple of helicopters here. Although I know Berlin Command. I'm pretty sure he's not brought the Gazelle rockets from the deck review. I know I literally just did it. And yeah. So John T. Ben here building up to sort of, because he knows the enemy's here, right? That Schmel is really annoying. It will get you killed. So yeah, I like it. Like 5E is really good on the defense because you can get like the Gazelle Hawks, which he's done. You always want that defensive helo. You get the Milan teams. You can also get like the AMX Hot and the VBL Milan, which I'm pretty sure he had. Wow, I've got a memory of a goldfish. I literally just did it. I do it in the order you're seeing it, apart from, like, so when I do the intro, you see the Sapper's Flam, like, they're fine if the cohesion's high, but they do a lot of missing, and they shoot every 4 seconds, and they just miss. I'm sorry, I have to shout to be heard, but and they like if they miss, and the accuracy's not great, and the reload time, 8 seconds. It's every 8. Shouldn't be every 8. Oof. So yeah, the SAS just take out all that, and this guy's not helping, and this guy's being held back by just a couple of units here. So it's a good defense from 5e. I'd love to see the AMX Hot, because it's got the Hot 2, which has 2,625 meters. This thing, you can't bring it too close, but you see, we spoke about the Boryusa and how it's not very good because it gets outranged. And there's the surrender. Yeah, I was wondering how long that was going to take. So Javier Torres, having been left alone to fight 2 guys, has given up, and I don't blame him. But yeah, the AMX-10 Hot here can be useful, and also like I like the fact that there's a recon here, and if he was out here, it might get shot, right? So you see how it gets outranged. You see how it gets outranged. The Strela 10M is just a much better bet because look, that happens so often. So like this has to go back and land now and get its mojo back. I think I already mentioned the AMX-10 Hot. So there, here you go. Jeff sorted this out. He's put his stuff there. But yeah, he is in a. He needs to get like some Lynx Hellarms. In general, this NATO side, like, because basically Jimmy didn't bring the Lynx rockets, which isn't great. Also, so John T. Ben here, I mean, he's waiting for somebody to come up this road, but like you could come down this road and then you can actually see pretty far. And so you'd see if anybody was coming up this road if you were here. So, you know, I know it's risky because there might be somebody there and it might kill you, but and obviously I've got perfect vision, I know there's not. But it's worth mentioning. And now, basically what Blue has to do, I guess I never really speak about this. Once you've taken a zone, put loads of infantry ATGM teams in it and vehicle ATGM teams in it and stack up the AA, because the enemy has to come in here if they want to win. Or alternatively, these guys could help their teammate. You know, maybe help. Like there's a bit of a problem here. And, you know, they've taken these zones. Like this Challenger 2, Challenger Mark 2, sorry. I swear they do that on purpose and make it very confusing. So he's trying to go for the AA here, but he's lost sight of it. And, yeah, this is probably dead now. That's a lot of AA. And it just, yeah, that's a shame. I mean, it's very expensive. You can't do that, really. You saw what killed the Harrier, you should know that. Oh, it's quite a lot of AA there. So yeah, I like this flanking fire, you know. And they've got an infantry unit. They need some supply. The Milan 2s are going to run out pretty fast against this. Here we go. AMX-10 Hot. That's exactly what I was speaking about. So yeah, as you can see, it's got the range. It actually has the same range as these. The ATGMs on these. And because it's got mediocre stealth, you know, if he's not got recon, I mean, he's got a bit, but you can shoot and you can be okay. So these Harriers have had a lot of utility for such a bad plane. I mean, so... But yeah, they need to sort this out. So here come the Lynx Hellarms, and they need some infantry in here. I realise, yes, this is the infantry, but you need to leave one here, really, because this is the corner of the zone. You don't know exactly where he's coming in. These tanks could be sent back. I see 25... Ah, okay, yeah, so this is why you don't want 3 guys in one building, because this isn't good. Having said that, it got evac'd by his teammates AA here, because they're pushed so far up, and then finished off by what I think was a roll 3 there. So, yeah, I mean, it's just... Red made a lot of mistakes, and, like, this was a huge mistake, and this was a huge mistake, you know, and then like, their weakest guy actually had the wherewithal to understand that this is where you need to be. This doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. If you make it all the way to here, great, but the enemy can push you out so easily because their spawn is here and your spawn is all the way back there. So it's very difficult, right? And another thing they can do, which Jeff has done quite well here. I don't know the guy, by the way. I've been in some games with him. is yeah, you just cut this up. If you've got all this, yeah, you just send a Lore 80 around there and just shoot them all as they come in. Yeah, but yeah, looking at this attack is being couched quite successfully. Basically, you'd want an ATGM here. Because yeah, you want to shoot them from multiple sides. So the Milan 2 was here, and that did some good job, but it's dead now. And then you've got some in the front, sure, but you know one of these could be here, and then you're shooting them from the side. You always want to shoot your enemy in the side. I mean, this is not an honourable game. We can all sit around getting mad. Obviously, if somebody smoke mortars me, I get upset, but I do it to other people all the time, so it's fine. It's fine when I do it. Like in the song, Jimmy Eat World the Middle. I can't even remember what he says. It's something about like being yourself, right? And so on. And wow, this fox is gonna have a heyday here. Oh, okay. Oh, if I makes it out. They need more infantry here, really. So Jeff and Jimmy need to do that. I don't understand. You don't. Why? What's this for? Yeah. You need infantry here. I guess, obviously, they can't see what we can see. They can't really see much of anything. And then over here, you know, Cope and Seethe has basically accomplished nothing. Yeah, this is why you don't sell the transports as well. That's probably dead now. And so Johnny Ben, yeah, he moved up here, and his stuff was helping this, and this guy just sort of left this to rot. And yeah, this is good. So he's moving forwards with the Sublinde. Generally, you know, if you move this forwards, you want to put like load up that chasseurs and put that in this building, because the enemy can always come back through here, because this will die eventually. And another thing, so we spoke about how there was no VAB T20 and no Tarask. If you want to go deep like this, what you can do is put a Tarask with it, and then when they send the helicopter, brrr, you get the helicopter. You won't stop a plane, but you'll stop a helicopter. So pretty comfortable, +2 to blue. This is basically where all the action's going on, and here we go. So now that they've got a proper tank up there, this is a pretty nice sightline, actually, just to shoot everything coming down that road. But yeah, they need, you know, need a bit more inf and stuff. Like, these guys should really be getting back. They just don't have the HP to be, like, there's something weird going on with the LOS there. This one's probably not going to make it. Yeah, I mean, they don't have enough HP, really. They should be getting back. It's difficult to pay attention. I do like the drone gameplay, because it's just so strong. It can basically view people from outside their AA radius, because radar stuff can't shoot it for some reason. And yeah, I like this a lot. This is what 5e is all about. 5e is all about the mobility. But like, more of this from the 5e player. This should be happening. That's what their div is all about. In a straight up fight, you will lose to 25Y. So you don't do a straight up fight. Do you see what I mean? The French learned that lesson when they were like, okay, 1v1 me Maginot line, and the Germans were like, well, no. So there you go. So yeah, seeds out now. But there's a lot of not seedable things here. Yeah, I mean, I can understand wanting the planes, but it's not working out. Let's get ground stuff. And yeah, so there's an attempt to move up here, which I like. I mean, you don't have to do it. The optimum way... Ah, here we go. Yeah, he's sending another one. Yeah, I like this. I like this. That's good. Get some AA back there as well. But yeah, killing those T-64... Like, you want these AMX HOTs in a position that they can help this. Because these guys are shooting this right now. So if your AMX-10 HOT was here, it would be shooting these guys. You know, the tanks you want engaged, really. So, given that they're not very powerful against the T-64Bs, you can bring them around here as well and close the distance. Although your armor's not great. You've got the mobility. The advantage of this tank is that it's very, very fast. It's 70 kilometers an hour off-road, and it goes backwards just as fast. This is 50. Chieftains are like 40. Where is it? Yeah, so you see. So, over here, you know, you never want to bring your tanks at no vet. That was a bit of a weird one. And to be honest, Jimmy could probably come over here, but I can understand not. wanting to, because that's a nice big open field, and the enemy should have loads of ATGMs over there, but he doesn't. Here we go. The Sublinde is doing quite well for itself. I think it... I mean, it definitely got that mister there. The RT pieces, of course, are very important, and yeah, the Cubs, get all the Cubs. Don't think Cope and Seether's noticed yet. So, if you're playing against a 5e player, you really need to protect your flanks, like, a lot. That should be priority #1, because they just get the best stuff at doing this in the game, and nothing here can kill it. He's just not noticed, has he? Is he? No? Yeah, he's noticed, Okay, well, this doesn't have an AT. Yeah. Very, very effective wraparound there. Okay, he surrenders. And then, presumably... Oh, wow, okay. So, we've still got Magnus Axe on the right here. So I guess he's taken over from... No, hang on, he was the guy who originally did this. He wants to stick it out. Wants to fight through, push through. Because, yeah, this is all AI now, and the first thing it starts doing is just spreading out. And then, so, all these ATGMs, to be honest, like, these should have been moved up, because they just weren't in a position to do anything. But, yeah, now they just start freaking out, and, I don't know, I think the AI in this game is actually pretty serviceable. It's better than a lot of players. But, at the same time, it doesn't seem to... And it would be very hard to make something that did. It doesn't seem to appreciate the situation that it inherits. It just immediately says, well, now I'm going to go do my thing. And so whatever was already there, like I've seen rows of vehicles just suddenly unload at the back of the map when somebody resides. So it looks like the Milan and the Sublinde are going to find the FOB here. It does have 10 HP, but it's weird, because, like, what is that based on? Like, HE or what? And it seems to have some kind of weird armor value, but artillery destroys it really easily. I don't know. Actually, it's called a Scald Snabzenia, if you didn't know that. That must be the Russian for it. Over here, yeah, light rifles, recoilless rifle, in a forest against T-55. This is where you want the lower 80s, really. And, oh, well, he's capped it now. So he doesn't need to do anything about that. And, yeah, he's using the mortars to move up. That is a helicopter. There's no AA here. So, Magnus Axe playing a 3v3 like a 1v1. I'm going to come over here and do my thing. I don't really care what happens to my team. These Harriers, though, I mean, he really needs to move his AA up closer. This is kind of weird that this keeps happening. It's really kind of weird. And, yeah, this is the 35-pointer we were talking about. I don't think he's deployed a sapper yet, but it's the same price, even though it's worse. I don't know. Would you make it 30? I don't know. It's not got smoke. It's got 3 armor, though. Right? 20mm aren't as good as 30mm. So, yeah, Jeffy's wrapped around here. And, yeah, I wonder if Blue can actually take this now that this is just AI. You can probably just run in and take it. Obviously, you can't see what we can see. But what you can do is buy a reservist's LRAC. Oh, here's one. This one I made earlier. And you just right-click over here with all your tanks behind it, right? And you just wait to see what shoots it, and then you shoot whatever shoots it. Pretty effective strategy. I know it's obviously very callous towards the men, but I mean, I in the deck review I spoke about how bad these are, but he's got so much value out of them. Mainly because his opponents have just really dropped the ball on the AA Sitch. This has an AT4, it's just because the hill's here, I can't actually see it. And yeah, Berlin rifles for the lower 80. Like, I don't understand why these are 65. 10 men is good, but 65, really? I don't know, infantry prices are sort of all over the place. Like, this is 60. So then this being 65 makes sense, but 9 men for 60 points? I don't know. I'd rather have a BMP2 for 60 points. I'll be honest, in most situations, I'd rather have a BMP2 for 60 points, most comparisons. And yeah, so Cope and Seethe here, or Cope and Seethe.ai is actually bought a fighter to protect over here, protect the helicopters, and Blue, they're only, I don't know, John T. Bent's got some ASFs, he could try and do something about this, but I guess his focus is over here. This is a pretty static front. And we've got Jeff trying to cut the reinforcements here, which I'm a big fan of. That's really what you need to do. You need to cut the reinforcements. Here you go. So this is what I was speaking about. So if you come through a gap, you really need to block that gap, because the enemy will come through it, or should come through it. Seems to know about it. I guess because he lost his race car somewhere. This is not that. And so his spidey sensors are tingling there. I mean, typically you'd want to use the roads. These aren't slow, but they will take a while to get there. And yeah, the AI, for all its bluster, has sent through an Igla squad. Yeah, that was a very optimistic drop from Magnus. And he's got the mortars. I mean, you can just counter battery these quite easily because they don't have their vehicles with them. Let's go for that tank, I suppose. And yeah, you need some recon with this, like one of those BBL recos, which I assume they were why they were in the deck to come with the tanks. And yeah, just using the reservist cell rack to scout. T-64B took out a lot of AMX-10s there. And that Igla squad didn't make it. I think somebody's not been spending their points. I don't know, if I was Blue at this point, I'd be trying to take Delta or go bully the last remaining red player, try and get him to quit. Over here, yeah, having this guy in this building has now paid dividends, although you're going to lose the Logi. I don't know, I mean, we spoke about this in the deck review. The T-64B dies in one hit to most AT planes in the game, all of them except two. The T-8M, which you never see, and the Magister, which you never see. Yeah. So looks like Jeff's got a handle on this now. You see he's brought up the tank and the minstrel here just to cut this. He's brought up another tank. I'm not actually sure what Jimmy has been doing. Oh, okay, he's actually trying to attack this. So he's bought a lot of artillery. I don't rate the 105s at all, really. They can be useful to smoke at the start of the game because of their range, but if you've got higher caliberality, you should be bringing it. He's got the SAS up. You could bring up the Chargers, the Warring Milans, they could be up here. Obviously, he doesn't know if there's an ATGM in here, although the Saxon didn't get shot right, so he should know that there isn't one. Brenai coming in here. As you can see, they can survive a Conker's hit, and then the auto cannon, it's got really high accuracy. So that gets some kills there. Woman Cheeky coming back. If they went in this house, that'd be a bit more useful. And presumably this is going to come over here for Delta eventually. I mean, you need to use the roads, really, because, yeah. And then you put your cheapest unit first, your cheapest wheeled unit first. If you're going to do a push through like that. Light rifles here. And the Mirage Seed coming back out. Oh, he's dropped the bombs. I think he's going to get his own guys. No, he didn't. Yeah, it's a race. Which blue player can take their back zone first? I think John T-Ben's got the best chance here. It depends, because obviously if all this went in here, he'd get it. But then you can make the same argument about Jimmy. If he got all his guys in here, there's not actually that much in here. You can make a similar argument. Well, you can't really make the same argument about Jeff. There's a lot of stuff in there. Most of it's Iglas, though. KM teams. Yeah, he's pushed it this way. He's still got this problem where there's like the odd tank left around. This is where you need your helicopters, really, to scan ground. You can scan a lot of ground quickly. I really like the Gazelle rockets on Berlin Command. Looks like he's coming in with the Nighthawk, Harrier Cluster Hellon combo. That's a very dead T-55A. That's a big waste of a Pavelo there. Pavelo. Paveway. Pavelo is the helicopter of Modern Warfare 2. Look at my Pavelo, right? Only the OG will remember. So, you know, one wonders what the point is really for Magnus. I mean, he's very clearly not going to win. But yeah, I'm interested to see if Blue can take these back zones. I mean, this conga line here should really be able to just walk in there, really. But it's getting a bit spread out, and there's no CV with it, which is important. You do need that if you want the zone. This boy's M270, and yeah, he's just put it on automatic counter battery there. Looks like Jimmy's going to win the race. The race for the backline zone. And yeah, I mean, the map, you know, there's no zone here. And I honestly agree with that. Because I think it makes it really interesting. If they just had a zone here, it would be less interesting. But there's a lot of people who just aren't interested in that and just yeah, bro, I'm going here. This is my imaginary zone. And that's just not how the game works. This is where the zones are. This is where you need to go. And Red, only one of them understood that. And it's strange because it was the weakest player. The weakest player understood that. And the stronger ones, didn't seem to. I mean, I'm only judging this from the deck review. But yeah, from the deck review, Javier Torres' deck was very bad. But he understood the game. His teammates had better decks in some respects. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say, really. So, got some Air Mobile Pioneers coming in here. I really do like the Lynx rocket. I really do think people should be using that. And we've got the big blob here. But you'll note that there's no AA with this, right? So that's where you know, you're going to have AA in your big blob because a helicopter would really mess this up quite quickly. And obviously these can shoot helicopters at close range and do quite a lot of damage to them. But, you know, if your enemy was a bit more competent, this wouldn't work. So you need a CV with it, and you need a bit of AA with it. So you see how these have like really bad movement accuracy. It's just something about the French tanks. They're really fast, but you got to stop to shoot if you want to hit anything. But there's not really enough competition here to really put up much resistance. Although that T-64B might be a problem, depending on how this micro goes. Was that like a side shot? Oh, it's got 21 pen on the Agona. Okay, I didn't know that. Weird, because it comes up green even though, you know, this is 24 and it's red, blue even. So yeah, GG. I mean, this is a pretty interesting one. So we got Jimmy here, 425 games. Jeff here, 445 games, and Jonty Ben, 160 games. Did very well for 160 games. Must watch a lot of Hippie YouTube videos. And then Magnus Axe, 204 games. Cope and C, the 190 games. And Javier Torres, 245 games. So yeah, an interesting one for sure. I did like the wraparounds on 5e. That's what the division's all about. Yeah, I'll see you in the next one. GG.